Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can declare your classes in different file other than your main.cpp and use those classes from different files in your main.cpp, and why it is important and useful to define your classes in different files is because whenever you write a program, or whenever programmers write a big program which can contain hundreds of classes, and if they write each and every class on the same file, it becomes really overwhelming for the other programmers, for example the colleagues, or the uh, or the boss to read those classes in the same file. So in order to make your program readable and more accessible, we define our classes in different file, so we can find those classes really fast, and this makes your program really readable and understandable. So let's see how we can create files for the class, and then we will see how we can use this class in our main.cpp. So if you are using code blocks or any good IDE, it has a mechanism of making those class files for you. So for example, this tutorial series I'm doing on code blocks, uh, in here you need to go to file, new, and you will see the option class here. In every good IDE, you will be able to find this option class. And in here, you can define the name of the class. So for example, I want to make the book class. So I will say books. And here you can provide other options, like if you want to have destructor, or if you want to have virtual destructor, which I haven't taught you yet. So I will just uncheck everything because I would like to write my code by myself and not by this wizard. So I will just use this wizard to make the class, and everything else we are going to do by ourselves. So it will be easier to remember things. Now the second thing is you need to do is, if by default this checkbox is unchecked, which is header and implementation file shall be in same folder, just check this checkbox. And what this mean is you want to create this class files in your project folder. For example, I have my project folder here, and this project folder contains the main.cpp and this project file, and I want this class file also in the same folder. Okay, so this checkboxes does that, and then just click create and just say yes, and you can say yes. Okay, and as soon as you do that, just go to your project file once again, and you see here there are two new files generated here. One is called book.cpp and one is books.h, and you will be able to see them here also, book.h and book.cpp. Okay, before explaining these classes to you and header files to you, I would like to compile my program. So I will compile this, and in code blocks, whenever you create this class by this wizard, and whenever you compile it, it will give you this error. I am getting this error. If you are, in case you are getting this error, which is undefined reference to win main at the rate 16, then what you need to do, you just need to close this your project. So I will just close my project and I will save all my changes, and I will once again open code blocks, and then this problem will be solved. So I will reopen my project once again, and once again I compile this, and you see there are no errors now. So I don't know if it's a bug or what, but uh, this is the solution I found for this problem. Okay, once this is done, you have your book.cpp file. So how you can open these files, just right click and just say open books.h or books.cpp. Okay, so we have two files here. This code blocks wizard has created two files for us. One is called books.h, which is called header file, and one other is called books.cpp, which is called source file. And we haven't seen this declaration of classes. So what header file is doing here is it contains the declaration or prototyping of your class or your method. So whatever declaration of the class you want to do, you will do in this header file or books.h file. Okay, and this source file will contain the definition of those member functions or those classes. So here you will write the method definition. So I think in the earlier videos I have explained you what is not member function, but what is function prototyping. What you do in function prototyping, you just make a prototype of function at the top of or above your main function, and you can define the definition of the function below your main function. So this above which you define is called the prototyping. Same this header file is doing. It's only containing the prototypes, and this will contain all of your code for your function. So let's see what is this class containing. This code I will explain you later, so just leave it as it is for now. But this is the class definition, and we know that this is how you declare the class, and it has three preprocessor directives, or this public, protected, and private. And this I will explain you later in later videos, but we have learned how we can use public access specifier, right? So I will use only public, and this is constructor if you have followed my last video. So let's define some member variable in this public domain. So I will define int book ID, for example. So I will say book ID, and I want to define the getter and setter function for this book ID. I've also explained you this getter and setter functions in the previous videos, if you remember. So I will define first of all set. So set book ID, and what it takes, it is initialized by void, so we are not returning anything, and it takes an argument which is same as book ID. So I will say book ID but with an underscore, so we know that this is the argument and this is our member variable. In a similar way, I will define a getter. So I will say int getter returns the type which we want to return. So we have book and it has a type or data type int, so we are returning int. And I will say get book ID. Okay, and it doesn't take any parameter. So this is called the prototyping of the function, right? And in header file we do the prototyping of these functions, and the definition or the source code of these functions will come in this book.cpp in here. Now before moving further, you might be wondering what is this, why it's written here book colon books. So this double colon is called binary scope resolution operator. And why we are using this binary scope resolution operator? Because you can define different classes which can have the same function, set id and get book id, set book id and get book id. So how you will recognize that this set book id is a part of this class? So you use the name of the class colon the member function. So this is the constructor, which is this one, and first one is the class name. So class name and the member function, and this is books because this is the constructor, and this is also a member function of your class, right? So same thing we do with our set book id and get book id. So just remember this double colon is called binary scope resolution operator. Okay, I will copy this, and this comes just after or just before the name of your function. So this is the name of your function. Just before the name of your function, you use this name of the class, and then this binary scope resolution operator, and then name of the function. Now you can easily say that this function is a member function of this book class, right? That's why we are using this. And same we will do with this get book id. But this is our CPP file, so we need to define these function, or we need to write the source code for set book id and get book id, right? So in setter function, what we do, we just take our argument here, and we will just pass it to our member variable. So I will just do this equal to this. Okay, and what getter does, it only returns your member variable, which is this one. So you can write return book id. Okay, so this you know how to declare or define member functions. Now whenever you see this main.cpp, you see here we have defined these files here. So it has include this iostream and include this string and using namespace std. So what you need to do is, you need to copy this all these inclusions and paste it in your header file also, so that your header file or class will also know that if you use string or iostream or standard namespace, your this member variable doesn't get confused that where this comes from. So you need to include these includes, iostreams, and whatever files or headers you are including in the main file, you need to include it in the header file also. And if you see in the books.cpp, it's including books.h, which is this header file. So your source file will always initialized by this inclusion of your header file. And why we are including this? We are including this to tell your source file, which is your book.cpp, that we have declared the prototype of this class in the header file. So include all the classes or the declaration from the header file in the cpp file. So this line will include your classes or whatever declaration you have done in the header file. Now your cpp file will know that yes, I need to I will see this declaration here, and yes, I can then uh, give the source code for these member functions here. So always include this in the CPP file. So you are including this in the CPP file, books.cpp file. You need to include this, just copy this in your main file in order to call this class in your main.cpp. Okay, so just include this book.header file in your main.cpp. Now your main.cpp knows that there is some header file, and it will go to this header file and it will see there is a class declaration there. So now it knows that there exists a class in this header file which I can use. Okay, now everything is simple. Whatever you can make the object of the class, I have already told you how to use classes. So just copy the name of the class, go to your main function, and we will define the object of the class books. And for example, book 1, so this is the object declaration, and then we can use this object to call our function member functions of the class. So first, book dot, I will call this set book ID. So this will set the book ID, and this will take some argument. So I want to set book ID is equal to 100, for example, and I will use get book ID to print this ID of the book, right? So I will write cout, and then I will write book 1 dot get book ID. So this will return you the book ID, right? And then once again end line. Okay, so this will return you 100 because we have set the value of book ID is equal to 100, and we are getting this here and printing it. So let's compile our code, and it's compiled successfully, and when I run this program you will see 100 here. Okay, so now you can declare your classes in this form of source file and header file, and use these classes in your main.cpp file, so that it's easier to see and you understand that you have these class declaration here, and you can use these classes here. So this makes your code really simple in terms of understanding, and in a long run, when you have 10 or 50 classes, it will make your programming really easy when you define these classes in different header files and source files. Okay, so I hope you understood the basic concept of these classes which we declare in the other files, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.